Howdy, Rachel Hug fans. Asperum here. Welcome back to Civilization Beyond Earth. Now, I need to fix my screen a little bit because I realize that the top of the bar is cut off. There we go. Alright, so this here is the DLC for Beyond Earth. It is called Rising Tides, and as you may have guessed, yes, this is the long-awaited DLC in order for us to actually build stuff on water, which is amazing. There are a couple new factions that have been now introduced. I'm actually playing as one of them now, which is called the North Sea Alliance. And let's get rid of the alien there. There's a lot of new changes, so I'm going, as it comes up, I'm going to go through it. Because of the fact that if I do it, throw it all at you guys all at once, it might be a little bit confusing. The main part of this DLC is that you can build cities on the water now, and that you can actually build improvements now with your workers on the water. So if you play as one of the base game factions, you can still be able to access the water. You are still able to build cities on the water. You are still able to send your workers out on the water to build improvements. My explorer is going to die there, but there are new quests now that you can go through and do. I don't see any. Oh, there's some Xenomass up there, so let's go with Harmony. Oh, there's a lot of Xenomass up there. Now that came up, another one of the changes that is made now is the hybrid virtues. Basically now, you can still go with just the main virtue of all purity, for example, and you can go and max that out. However, now there are special units, special buildings, and special bonuses if you have a hybrid affinity. Such as if I'm probably on this one, probably going to go with harmony and purity, which is kind of counterintuitive if you understand the basics of the game, or you understand the premises of the virtues, the affinities. The units actually look really, really cool, and they have a very unique flair to them. And hopefully I'll be able to show that to you guys. We'll go more into depth of that as we go along. The planet has new units now that you have to combat against. Let's make... Oh, and here. This is one of the new units. Because of the fact that you have coastal cities now, if you try and take a coastal city with an embarked unit, you all are familiar with the concept now that the embarked units have less combat strength. Well, they added a new unit to this now, where you have a naval melee unit. It starts off as the patrol boat, and then as you gain affinity, it changes, just like everything else does. But it's really, really cool, really unique. I'm not sure exactly how it works, physics-wise, but hey, it is what it is. This new alien melee, this is the new alien melee unit. It's called the Ripper. Think of it as a school of dolphins, and they attack. It's the basic naval unit for the planet, so it doesn't have a whole lot of combat strength. But it has just enough to be incredibly annoying. One of the new buildings that I constructed in my capital is called, well, it's not new, but they changed it. It's the Old Earth Relic, which is your base culture building. They changed it up just a bit. And what they changed with it, here, I'll open it up. There you go. What they changed with this expansion is instead of having a diplomacy screen, you have a capital screen. And basically from your headquarters and from the old Earth relic for me right now, I'm getting capital from that. And from that capital screen, is it going to show it? No. Alright. From the capital screen, you can then improve your character. I'm going to need to change where my camera is. Here, I'll move myself over here. It'll cover up the mini-map. Alright. What are you doing up there? Anyway, alright. So, this is my dude. I am Duncan Hughes of the North Sea Alliance. Basically, what happens is that, unlike the base expansion, where as soon as somebody landed, you automatically knew who they were, in the DLC, you actually have to go out and find them, or they find you, whichever the case may be. And then they'll actually be listed over here on the left. And why is my mouse there? Interesting. My mouse is not on the screen. There it is. Alright. So, they'll actually be listed over here on the left. You can see where your standing is with them. You can make trade agreements with them, which is highly advised because that's a really cool way of getting stuff. However, a really cool, unique way of customizing your character to whatever you want to do in your respective game are these personality traits. And they give you a boost in whatever it is that you want to do. Now, I can't add any of the other traits in order to show you guys right now because I don't have the capital for it. But as you can see, this character starts off with the aquatic cities boost, which just gives them more combat strength, plus they're able to move. Cities that you build on the water are actually at a disadvantage. And what I mean by that is that as you guys may have guessed, because of the fact that my town is already at a size 2, it's still at that base level. What that means is that the borders do not expand by your culture. In order to expand the borders of your coastal cities, hang on, I'm going to set him on Explore. Oh look, another new thing. In order to expand the borders of your coastal cities, what you have to actually do is tell it to move. And what happens then is that I'm going to have to move that way, which will destroy that upgrade. Let's move this way. What will happen is that after the 2 turns that city is making the changes in order for the city to move, the city moves into that adjacent tile, and then all tiles adjacent to that tile then become yours. That's the way that you have to expand the borders of your city tiles. Unfortunately. It's just one of the new changes of the game. I think it's a balancing out factor, but it's an annoyance all the same. Let's move you here and see if we can get something good from that. This here is something unique to whatever map it is that you play on. It's a unique bonus. And it looks like on this map I'm going to have it's called the Hydrocoral Brain. I'll go into a little bit in depth with that, but that's a late game mechanic. So I probably won't go much into depth with that. What I will say is, as you're moving the cities around, you notice that this worker up here is working on the algae. all of this remains part of that territory. So as long as the city is near that, they will get the bonus from it. They don't lose it. But to the same token, you have to be within a certain amount of hexes from that in order for it to remain active. Or the bonus from that to remain active. This is another... Yeah, this is a Hydra Core Brain. This is another alien naval unit. It's called the Alien Hydra Core. It doesn't really do anything other than the fact that it prevents you from getting any of the bonuses from your workers actually working on that tile. I'm gonna plant that there because of the fact I get that Xenomass. Now you notice that the Alien Ripper unit is now attacking my patrol boat. I'm probably gonna go for a fast expansion of cities, so I'm gonna go with Colony Health. Because of the fact that you are at a disadvantage with the coastal cities, whenever I start out with a coastal city faction, I go with a quick expansion of cities. Because of the fact that, hey, I need a way of actually getting these resources before the AI actually picks them up. See, these are the different stages of the growth cycle. It starts out as this base one, it increases up to that one, and it goes up to that huge size one that you guys saw over there. It's more of a churn-based thing. Like, if you see it active over a certain time period, the more it grows. My city's now moved over there, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually move the city back over here, just because it has more of a defensive area. Now, you can expand the borders by buying the hexes up. However, I found it was easier, especially with this faction. It's a lot faster to actually just tell your city to move and to spend the production cost in order to move it. It's all based off of your preference. Maybe late game, when you have a lot of energy, you could do that rather than spending the time and the resources to move the city. It's all up to your play style, but that's the easiest for me. Alright, we're gonna make it do that. Let's give plus 15%. Now, with the virtues, nothing's really changed. That's all still the same. Like I said, the only thing that's really changed is the actual affinity points. I needed to send my explorer back there, so he has an expedition module. Alright, where were we going? Let's go this way. Alright, looks like we have another coastal player. Now, you can... How the new DLC works is that you see where everybody lands at on your mini-map. However, you do not actually get their comlink until you actually get near them. Alright, now this is another new cool feature of the DLC where you can find artifacts. That's why I spend most of my games now building up explorer units in order to go out, build expeditions, and go out and find the map. Because what these artifacts do is they go into your library. And from the library, you can then research them. For instance, I have this interactive family tree. If I were to pull that over to here, it would then give me another 7.2 production and 28 culture. However, if you put 3 over here, there is a chance that you get a very unique bonus. Whether it's a building, whether it's a world wonder, it all depends on what you put over there. I haven't discovered much in the way of buildings from that. I think I've discovered like 2 or 3 buildings. I haven't discovered a world wonder yet, but I have discovered bonuses that you can get from those, such as improved expedition speed, improved worker speed. Alright, so we need to choose a station to charter. Do we want more food, or do we want energy and science? Let's go with energy and science. Alright, so we have Farbase 1 there. There's a lot of hydrogen. Now, I'm going for... I suppose I should have gone the other way first, but I'm going for engineering at the moment so I can get some energy into my cities, because right now I am only at a +2 a turn, which is going to bite me in the butt. Oh, there we go. That'll improve. Alright, so now we have a solar collector, which I'm going to stick right there. Now that'll improve my energy consumption for a little while. Or my energy intake, I should say. Now, the naval units for the planet, they still follow the basis where they are neutral until you provoke them in some way, and I just provoked them there. Another change that was made in the DLC are how the alien nests function. Oh, I have another one now. Sweet! Alright, and how they function is that they remain active. And what I mean by that is that if I were to move that patrol boat onto the alien nest, they do not actually get rid of the alien nest. What happens is I have to command the unit to get rid of the nest, and what will happen is if the nest is near a city, the city will get a nutrient bonus from it. If there's no city near it, I will get additional energy, just like the normal in the base game. However, every time you force your unit to do that, it pisses the planet off to the point where all nearby alien units that are near your cities go red. It doesn't matter if they were blue or green, they immediately go to red. Or at least that's been my luck. Now, playing with Silver Archer, he's had the extreme luck of doing that, and they only go from blue to green or green to orange. Either way, the planet still gets pissed off with you. Alright, moving that worker up there.
Instruct the children not to dream of toys or sweets. Instruct them to dream of infrastructure.
Why? Why? Oh, Okay, good. We can build trade depots now. Sweet. Because I want to open up trade with Farbase 1 as soon as possible. Now, something else that's changed with this is that how the minor powers operate. That's what the game calls them, are minor powers, minor factions. Is that they don't actually die, so to speak. What happens is that if they're confronted by the alien lives, like if they're completely surrounded by the alien life forms, they will abandon their base, and you completely lose your trade with them, and it becomes an abandoned outpost that you then get sent an explorer into. And why is my explorer just sitting there? What are you doing? Over there. Now, I have a whole bunch of these hydrocoral brains around me. However, I can't do anything about them yet until I find the mother brain. As silly as that sounds. Hey, look, I
이렇게
found another
방문해
faction.
주시니 영광입니다. 세심한 배려로 모두 번영할 것입니다.
Hanja Moon from the Jiangsu faction. Alright. So basically what this faction does is that it's a naval spy faction, and they get a lot of spies. So if the Cold War is something that you're into when it comes to this game, that is a faction I heavily advise you to go into, because of the fact that you get spies before everybody else. Like, everybody gets spies when you get up to computing. They get spies before you even discover computing, which is extremely nice. It's annoying, though. Alright, so we can now make a trade convoy, which I will do. Alright, so we got additional culture from that resource pod. Let's make an expedition there. I just found the ARC.
How may the corporation serve you?
Alright, now the ARC, they are also into spies in this new DLC. However, all it is for them is that their spies complete 30% faster, and all of their stuff requires one less intrigue level. So that's 2 out of 6. What am I going to go into? What am I going to go into? I think I'll go into production this time around. Alright. So, from our trade depot, now we have the choice of either getting a +1 production or +2 energy. I'm now at a positive 14 energy a churn, so I'm going to go with the production side. And I just lost my patrol boat. So that means I'm going to have to build another one. Take 5 turns.
If
Yes,
the
I now
personality
have
traits you
rangers.
currently
Sweet.
have don't seem as useful.
Now, it's entirely up to you how you want to play your game. However, what I try and do is I go
Спутник,
for the Rangers
Славянская
right away.
Федерация поздравляет тебя.
Hello, General. I try and go for the Rangers right away because of the fact I like having ranged units inside of my cities. Yes, if the city gets taken over, I lose that unit. However, it gives the city more combat strength when you have a ranged unit sitting inside of it. Alright, they're unique. I really like playing as this faction during the DLC because of the fact that their bonuses are all about orbital units. And like right now with his, all orbital units that require strategic resources require 1 less, and they get to start off with 4 petroleum, 4 titanium, and 4 geothermal resources, which is extremely useful early on in the game. Build a farm there. Now, we open up the diplomacy screen because of the fact that we can see 3 other factions right now. What we can do is we can browse potential agreements. And what I said earlier about you being able to customize your faction, with these trade agreements, you can further enhance what bonuses it is that you want your faction to get per turn. Now, each agreement that you make is going to have a diplomacy cost to it, of which case, in order to see what your capital is, all you need to do is look up here in the upper left-hand corner, and that gives you a total what you have in store. Like right now, I have 279 in store, but I'm only getting 11 capital per turn. So over here on the cost section, I need to make sure that I don't put myself into the negatives, because I'll lose that agreement then. Alright, all active orbital units produce 2 science. Well, I have 2 active orbital units right now, so I'm going to attempt to do this one. When I say attempt, that is, it's up to the AI whether or not they want to agree with you or not. And it looks like they're going to allow us to. So now, underneath these agreements, I now have 1 that I've made so far. And I realize my face is now covering that up. When I play this game, it's a lose-lose situation for me. I apologize. Alright, so that spent capital. However, I still have capital remaining. So what I can do is I can now go over here to my personality traits. I'm going to change my domestic one. And because of the fact that I need production in order to move my cities, what I am going to do is I'm going to go with the industrialist. So my city production yield is now increased by 8%. Now every time that you do that, the costs of those traits go up by a fraction. I am not a pacifist, I just lost my military. So, up here in the center now, what will happen is that you can get a feel for how the computer thinks, the AI or the other factions get a feel for you based off of the messages that you get. And each faction now has a, for instance, since I just made that agreement with General, I'll pull him up. And over here, there's a meter. And you want to keep a careful eye on that, because if your respect gets really high, they'll want to do more and more agreements with you, which is good. However, if you want to go with a military victory, and that fear factor goes really, really high, they will actually start declaring war on you much more often, because they are completely fearful of your faction, whether it's because of your technologies that you have or because of the sheer size of your military. For the most part, I try and keep everybody happy, at least early on in the game. That way I can get the agreements up, and I can get all of my bonuses in line before all of the fun stuff starts happening. Alright, do I want +1 science from the thermo-aligned rudders, or do I want -10% production cost to move cities? Let's go with the production cost. Now, I'm up to 19 energy per turn, which will come in handy.
When
Alright, so now I need to change my research. I don't know why it's telling me to go with that, but I need to make the alien preserve for that quest, so I'm going to do that. I need computing to get my spies online because of the fact that we saw that faction is now in play. And I'm going to be going with Harmony, so I need that Xenomass resource. Yeah, there he is there. Alright. So that is the city. That's I'm guessing the Russians. General. Alright, and we still have one unmet player at the moment, and I don't see where they started at. Oh, okay, we have two unmet players. We have one here, and one here. Alright, so that resource pod gave us a burst of production. And we now have an alien Kraken that's moving through my territory. Awesome. Son of a gun. Go away! Silver Archer is not in the game. I didn't want to see one of them yet. Let's make an ultrasonic fence. That way they go away. Also, you'll actually get advisements, however you want to pronounce that, from your advisors telling you, hey, we recommend this this agreement because you'll get this bonus. Which then can further your interest into the, okay, what all agreements do I need? I can't make an expedition because I didn't send you back to a city. Alright, let's make an energy there. Alright, so how much do the colonists cost me? 390. That's fine. Got 50 energy left over, so let's buy up that. Alright, now where is it advising I can build at? I can build here, which will be nice to have a city up on the land. I'll get Firesight as well as the Xenomass that's there. Looks like they've got Titanium over there too. So yeah, we'll build. Oh wait, no. If I want to go for complete naval victory, I can't build any cities. It's an achievement. If you win the game with absolutely no cities up on land, you get an achievement for it. So I'm gonna see if I can go for it. More than likely not, but hey, it's worth a shot.
you go to war with the soldiers,
So now we have those additional buildings we can build. We have another artifact now, which is the personal meditation helmet. Like I said, this is a lot of new stuff, so don't don't be overly concerned if you don't understand all of it right now. The more I go along, the more I'll show you guys how all this different stuff comes into play. Or at least I'll try to at any rate. What I've been finding out is that with this game, because of the run away! because of all of the additional resources that you can find in your coastal cities, it gets very, very confusing to me, because I'm still finding out new resources. Like these minerals here, you can build a mine on them. It gives you additional production. These shells, I'm thinking they're like the crabs here on Earth. Or if you make a fishery there, it gives you additional foods or nutrients. Oh, there's petroleum. That's why my advisors keep telling me to get petroleum. I have a lot more petroleum over there, too. That's now defended, so let's build an ultrasonic fence there. Now, depending on whatever virtue you're going for, you will actually get, you will actually get a quest line. And this is really, really cool because of the fact that it gives it like a storyline center to the game. And it all depends on what virtue you're going for, what the quest will actually be. For the Harmony one, basically one of your researchers goes missing. Yes, there is the mother brain. So I can actually start getting those little mini ones. That thing is freaking huge. And it does absolutely nothing other than start that quest. But basically one of your researchers goes missing. And you have to do like little things here and there. Like you have to find a cave system where apparently she was hiding out at, and you find all sorts of resources from there. You have to build a satellite in order to try and track her location and to the new plant form that she's now found. And her daughter is the one that tells you to do that. And you discover her remains and her cave that she then found, where there's an abundance of this plant life material. And we'll go into that because of the fact I'm going into Harmony. Hopefully I'll be able to show you guys that. What am I doing? Oh, I need to tell the Kraken to go away. There it is. So build a bed there. That way we can get the resources from the shell. No, my military was just killed off. That's all. And as you may have guessed, the general there is more military, so I'm gonna have to watch him. Because if my military stays inactive for too long, he's going to take advantage of that. Alright, we'll contain the outbreak. Alright, so now we need to build a Xeno sanctuary. Prognator ruins in the water, which is cool. Now, if you have any questions, if you see anything here on the screen that I didn't explain to you guys, let me know in the comments below, and I will address that in the next video. Because of the fact there's a lot of information to go over with this DLC. This DLC is amazing in the fact that they've added so much more to the game on top of the base game.
We have discovered alien life on our new world. Unsurprisingly,
right.
it grows,
So what this is
reproduces,
here
dies, and cannot understand French.
And Silver Archer was doing this a lot in our online game, and I'm gonna try and do another online game here with multiplayer. However, there's been connection issues with the servers. Explorer units, once you go into the Harmony, Explorer units can now leash alien units. And what that does is that Explorer unit takes damage, but you get that alien unit then, which is amazing.
This morning I saw flocks in flight.
All right. I
Herds
don't
moving
have
about the plain,
any affinity
and
in any of
listened
the
to the
other
sound
areas,
of water
but this is
mixing
what I was.
with the morning chorus, and I wept at the beauty of it all.
Thank you. I don't have any affinity I don't have any points in the other infinities, but this is what I was talking about when you've tried. If you're going for a hybrid affinity victory, basically, if I had reached level 2 in Harmony, and if I had like level 2 in Purity, I would also get +1 culture per level of Harmony or Purity. But at the moment, I now have trade routes can be made through Miasma, which is fine. There's a lot of aliens on that. Oh, shnikey. That's a problem. Alright, so I got a whole bunch of upgrades that I can do. Alright. So let's give them... I'm probably going to go defensive this time around. So... Patrol boats. Let's give them additional bonus against naval melee units. And Rangers, let's give them +5 heal when they're... Since most of my Rangers are just going to be sitting in my cities. So now I can actually deal more damage against the planet. I'm actually gonna start winning in that regard. Yay! Now the general should leave me alone because of the fact that my military is now going on an offensive, so to speak. Alright, so I'm getting 21 energy per turn, so I'm going to go with the production from the reactors. Also, the soundtrack has changed, and I really, really like the soundtrack because it's much more epic in the regards that it's now you, as far as the music is concerned, the way I look at it, it's now you surviving against the planet. And the music now is so much more cooler. And when you declare war on something, the soundtrack changes again. I'm gonna have to build more explorers. No! Go away! Stupid Krakens. Well, now they're forced away because of the fact that I made that ultrasonic fence there. Now I need to repair that tunnel. It'll be a pain in my butt. Gunner needs to be cleaned. And I apologize for those of you who were waiting for this video to come out. I've been kinda addicted to Fallout 4. Because again, that game is a lot of fun. I see now why a lot of people play that all the time. But the graphics in that game are phenomenal. And I like being awarded for going out and exploring different areas, which is another reason probably that I like the DLC for this. Oh, there's the ARC. Is because of the fact that hey, you're being rewarded for making all these explorer units to go out and explore to get all of these artifacts. Let's go with... Let's go with colony health. Oh, come on, really? Coffee. Come on. My military's on the attack. I'm not a pacifist. I may not be declaring war on everything, but I'm not a pacifist. Oop, my colony health just went to -2. So if he's saying that I'm a pacifist, you'll notice down here, or you would if my face wasn't covering up, my relationship with the general is now in danger. So I have to raise either the fear level or the respect level from him, or the relationship will be downgraded. And basically all that happens is the fact that we'll go from neutral to down a step, which is sanctioned. Not sure exactly what that does, just the fact that they'll more often declare war on you. What happens when you discover these is that you can now send units to them. Or for me, since I have the quest now, I can send units to them now and I can study them. And then it'll give you a quest objective. So the second core hydrocoral brain has been found. Comparing its electrical activity to the first site, which is that big one, reveals that both specimens are mysteriously in sync with each other. These electrical storms, once assumed to be random, seem to occur in both specimens at the same time. Basically neural connectivity, like the entire planet being connected together. So now we understand that they talk to each other. Further study is certainly required. So now I get the quest to actually go out and I need to study 6 more. In which case we have 1, 2, we had another one somewhere around here. So we already have 2 out of the 6 that we can send either explorers or military units to. I'm not sure about you guys, but with these, I always go with the trade convoys cannot be attacked by alien units. Because I got tired of actually trying to guard the trade routes. Speaking of which, there we go. Alright, and how much is it for a gunner? Is 430. Alright. I'm getting 24 energy a turn. See, now, because of the fact that this tile has minerals on it, I can construct a mine here, and it will give me the additional resources there. It will give me actual production costs. So that one tile there will give me 3 production as well as 3 energy. Alright, let's go with Dosbroom. Oh, I haven't been renaming my cities. I think I'll go with the joke line this time around. Alright, so we have Dosbroom, Das Pan. So we have the broom and the pan. And we'll go with Das Mop. Let the silliness commence. Alright, so my colony health is finally at a +1. crashed satellite. Move our naval unit over there. That way it's not getting bombarded by that alien. I need to go up and fix that. Let's build that. There are a lot of alien naval units on this game. Let's get additional production towards World Wonders, even though I haven't built one yet. So now the general is happy with my production. However, I think I'm going to lose that unit. Doing there? I have the fence up. Why are you there? Yep, I just lost my... Yeah, I just lost that because the Manticore unit was there on the land. Alright, so I'm going to need to build another cutter unit. That's fine. I need to be building up a military anyway because of the fact that the general keeps on getting on my case about stuff. What can we build? I need to buy the eggs and the algae. Eggs and the algae.
If the personality traits you currently have don't...
Oh. Yeah, I haven't been paying attention to my capital. Alright, so we have the industrialist, and we have that. So now over here on the political side, basically these are going to be bonuses based off of the trade agreements that I have with everybody. So if I'm going with production, that one's not going to be any use of for me because of the fact my cities can't expand by culture. However, I am expanding pretty fast, so let's go with colony health. So I gain 2 health for each active agreement that's initiated by me. So right now I only have 1 trade agreement, but my colony health went increased by 2. So let's browse the potential agreements that we have right now. I'm getting 10 a churn. Ooh, let's do this one. Plus 8 capital city defense strength per occupied trade route. Alright, so now I have 2. See, they fear me right now. Which I'm questioning why, because I don't have that much of a military. Though I have been fighting against the planet a lot. Alright, and now I have a diplomatic transmission.
저와 협력하신다면
Alright, so right now
큰 힘이
they
될 것입니다.
want specialist citizens consume no food. And that will give me 9 capital per turn, which is amazing. Because right now they're getting 11. So now I'm going to be getting 16 capital per turn. Alright, now I can build the spy agency building. So that will prove in handy. Let's give you that. Three turns till you produce that. So then we'll make the spy building that way. Relationship with the general is going down again. More than likely, that's because of the agreement that I just made with the other naval faction. Because it has its trade-offs. Like, trade is very, very important, like with the agreements and whatnot. But if the AI is fighting against itself, the more you trade with this faction over here, the more that this faction will hate you in turn, unless you make more agreements with them. So it becomes a balancing act. Which is really cool, because it's a really unique way of looking at strategy here in the game. But anyway, I think this video has gone on long enough, so I am actually going to save it. I realize that my videos for this game are kind of long, and you guys get tired of listening to me over and over and over droning on and on about how awesome the game is, when you could be getting bored of it. So, I'm going to try and tailor these videos down a little bit, timeline-wise. That way they're not quite as long, they're not as drony. I just lost that Explorer unit to miasma. Son of a gun, I need to remember to watch out for them. And basically, with the capital now, it gives you another screen to keep track of. I only have 2 artifacts, so I don't have to really keep track of that. But I have to keep track of where my explorers are at. And I can't put my explorers on automation because of the fact that they won't go after any of the exploration square tiles. They won't actually stop and investigate those tiles unless you physically tell them to. So when you're playing in this DLC, it's best advised you don't put your explorers on automation. I put my naval units on automation just because of the fact that way you don't have to keep track of exploring new areas of the map. Because of the map that I'm playing on is mostly water, I put my naval units on exploration so they can go out, they can find stuff on the map, and then I can control where my explorers are going. And they'll follow the naval units that way. Das Mop can now have a trade route. Das Broom just wiped out the alien. Let's build the gunner there. Alright, so anyway, I will save the game here. If you like this DLC, and if you have a question about something that a unit bonus or tile bonus that you see on the game, you have a question about it, leave me a comment down below. If you do like this game and you want to see more videos of it, also let me know. This is one of my favorite games to play, is to sit here and think about strategy. I really like this DLC because of the fact that I can tweak with the different faction bonuses, and I can play with whatever play style that I want, and you can tailor it more now to whatever bonuses that you find around you, especially with the new hybrid affinity units. Hopefully I'll be able to get into that little later on, especially since now I'm actually raising my affinity up to the different hybrids. Hopefully I'll be able to show that. Anyway, thank you for joining me today. As always, my name is Das Broom. Remember, it is alright to get mad and smash stuff, but keep it in the game, alright? And welcome to our virtual couch of gaming with friends. Woohoo! Bye, guys!